And welcome everyone to my very first video on this channel. Today we're gonna do a whole recap, a seed to harvest video where we're gonna look at the whole grow which I did the last 3 months. We will have a look on which challenges we faced in this time, but also what went really well when we compare it to the last grows we did. This is not my first grow. I also have a German channel which I started over half a year ago, and now I wanna do a new project and hopefully build up a nice diverse community. But that's enough talking for now. Let's have a look how we got here.
We start here 2 days after the first one popped out of the ground, and we already see a huge difference between the strains. So for this day we only replanted 2 of them. There was the Matanuska Funda, which I'm doing right here, and the Cushberry Moonrocks. For this grow I used for the first time living soil as my medium. And to compare it, I choose to grow 2 in living soil, and the Cushberry Moonrocks was still in normal Blackron light mix, and I fed her throughout the grow with mineral nutrients. With living soil as our medium, on the other hand, we don't have to use any nutrients, which I was really excited about, so I would only use rainwater, where I would add a little bit of Calmac. The third one was still a little bit small. There was the Miracle Alien Cookies, and she had to stay in the greenhouse for a few more days. 2 days later, on day 4, the Miracle Alien Cookies was replanted to her ant-sized pot too. At this stage of the plant, I made sure to have a really high humidity to make it less stressful for the plants. And on day 9 we already saw a huge boost in growth, at least from the Matanuska and Cushberry Moonrocks. Probably this time is the least exciting for me at least. There's not much going on, but when we come to the 2nd and 3rd week we will see huge growth coming. And that's where we switch to day 18. Here we can see a huge boost from the Matanuska Funda. She's getting to a nice size and grows like crazy every day. To get that bushy growth, we obviously topped the Matanuska Funda, and we also topped the Cushberry Moonrocks, which you can see here. With the Cushberry Moonrocks, we also used some LST to get the plant a little bit more stretched out. But sadly, the Miracle Alien Cookies was still struggling, as you can see, and she developed weird leaves that later became even more weird than that. At this stage, we always try to have a high humidity, that means around 70% at this stage of growth. And the temperature throughout the day was around 23 to 26 degrees, and at night between 20 and 21. At this point, I also started to use my normal fertilizer for the Cushberry Moonrocks. There we have the Master Grow from Expert Nutrients, then the Silica, and the Master Root. And a week later the plants already looked so much different. Now comes the really exciting time where you can watch your plants grow and see the actual result at the end of the day. At this point we're getting closer to the flower period, and now we slowly want to regulate our humidity down. So at this point I went from around 70% to 65%. I want to make these steps quite small so the plants don't get stressed at all. We are using the SE5000 from Spider Farmer, and at that point I tried to achieve a ppfd level of around 5 to 600, which was only 50% of the light's capability. At day 33, we changed our light cycle from growth to flower, which means we changed the light from 18 hours to 12 hours a day. You could also give your plants another week of growth if you want to have bigger plants than that, but I rather have more space in my tent so I don't have to struggle with any mold issues or pests, which can spread much more easily if it's super crowded in your tent. And at this point, the Miracle Alien Cookies showed me some real strange growth. If you look at these leaves, it looks a little bit to me like it had the hop virus, but I also tested the plant and the end result was still negative. So I'm pretty sure that it was a genetic issue the plant had. On day 47 days into the flower, we can see a little stretch from the plants. That's completely natural and wasn't too intense, just how I wanted it. With flower, we obviously have to change our nutrients for the plants too. Not for the ones in the living soil, nothing will change there, but with our Cushberry moonrocks, we now have to change our nutrients. And for that, I changed from the Master Grow to the Master Bloom, where we have much more phosphor and potassium. And the Mac is still looking a little bit sad there in the corner. 17 days into the flower at day 50, and now things are getting more exciting. Even the Miracle Alien Cookies shows her first tiny flowers. And it's very impressive to see that huge Matanuska funder in that tiny 19-liter pot without any addition of nutrients. This shows you how powerful living soil can be. 2 weeks into flower, when the big stretch of the plant is over, I like to defoliate my plants for the first time. Here we focus mainly on the bottom half of the plant, where I remove all the tiny branches that wouldn't make it to the canopy. With the Matanuska, on the other hand, we have to be a little bit more drastic and take out some leaves in the middle of the plant so air can flow through the plant more easily. 3rd week of flower, and the buds are slowly getting bigger, and the plant now nearly reached its maximum size. Really exciting to see here was that the Cushberry moonrocks already changed its color to purple, which will only get more vibrant the further we go. At this point, I was also more optimistic with the Miracle Alien Cookies. Compared in size to the others, it was still a joke, but at least something was happening. And I was really happy about that. End of week 4 in flower, and now we see the buds really popping. Also, more and more crystals are forming around the buds, and the smell is getting quite overwhelming. Each of the strains is completely different in their smell, which is exactly what I wanted. At this point in Germany, the law allows us to have 3 plants, so I guess we have to make the best out of it. That's why I obviously pick always 3 different strains to have a good variety. The second defoliation, here we still concentrated most of our work in the bottom half of the plant, got rid of some yellow leaves at the bottom, and made room where it was really dense. Especially the Miracle Alien Cookies needed some more attention because she was growing way too close together, and I was scared that maybe we would get problems with mold later. At this point, the Matanuska funder was looking gorgeous. It's such an old genetic, but I'm super impressed what kind of nugs this genetic can produce. Here we are 7 weeks into flower, and now the hairs are going from white to brownish orange. These are the first sign for maturity, but there's still room for improvement here. So don't be impatient, these still need at least 1 or 2 weeks. But oh my gosh, these crystals are popping now. It's my first time growing with really good professional lights to now get the dense buds, which are covered all over with trichomes.
And that brings us back to the present day. Now we have around 2 days left where I will keep the lights on for all this time. So 48 hours of straight sunlight. This should give them another nice boost for the last few days to get the trichomes a little bit more mature.
And this is their final stage. Here we have the beautiful Cushberry moonrocks. The purple color is just gorgeous and it's all over the buds. And now look at this beautiful Miracle Alien Cookies. I would have never thought that she would made it that far. And her smell is absolutely amazing. It reminds me a little bit of bubblegum, but it's just insane. We have all the colors in the tents now. In the back, the Matanuska funder, she was struggling a little bit at the end with her nutrients, but that was pretty obviously because I didn't put her in a big enough pot. But hey, you always learn something, and the next time it will be even better. The harvest will be for the next video, so make sure to check that out.